Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 3 of the Premier League 2 broadcast. Just trying to calm myself down after that intense game we had.
It'll be a little
Mouse
tough.
Mouse versus Navi, game number 3. What is your thoughts right now, B-Balling?
Gonna see a crop ban.
Well, both teams has been employing Crab, and both teams has been winning with Crab. Although that last one was a lot harder, a lot more of a struggle of a win. But Mouse, back to the drawing board again.
It's gonna be interesting to see how they transition with a completely new stand-in this time, since G has left the game, has an official match with Dare, so we're gonna see Nada Hex playing in his place.
Yes, Nada Hex, apparently a player from Yubo. Don't quote me on that. I'm not too positive on that. I did personally play with Nada Hex before. One of 715's friends. So I'm familiar with his skill level. Definitely a professional player by all means. So he's going to be fitting right in as a stand-in here for Team Mouse. Of course, Puppy and his Navi squad will be staying with Pycat, as Pycat's been playing pretty well today.
Yeah, I mean, in the second game, his Night Stalker just wreaked havoc for a lot of the early game, and the mid to late game, his silence was just top-notch. So he played pretty well.
Yep. And we're walking into the Pickman stage again. These, the stable Crobits or Culprits. The stable heroes are being banned up.
Culprits.
Lycan not being banned at the moment. Is Mouse gonna let Lycan squeeze through? No, that would be too much.
Gonna see a first pick Nature's Prophet, so expect to see Live Heaven play that, and we're gonna see a Broodmother immediately being picked up by Sexy Rebel and Sand King as well. So the counter to Broodmother being picked up, Sand King also provides a nice teamfight presence, and picks are flying by. It looks like both teams know what they want to do in order to beat the other.
Yeah, Invoker in the pool, no one's really batting a single. No one cares. No one cares about Invoker. He's just chilling there. But I guess if you don't have Dendy, right? I'm not sure if you want to go to Invoker.
Yeah, that looks like it will be the case. So Anti-Mage is going to be picked up for Havost, and we're going to see hopefully a better landing assignment than we saw in Game 1 for Havost this time. He had a Night Stalker and a Jungle Shadow Demon to help him out against a Morphling. But we're going to see Enigma again for Mouse Sports, so they're going to go for team fight and pushing. They have all their favorite heroes right now. Broodmother, one of their favorites semi-carries at the moment, and Enigma, and if Sexy Rambo can land these black holes, if he has enough follow-up damage this time, then Mouse will be in good shape.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes you just don't need a damage. Sometimes black hole 100 damage per second is enough, and, well, Sexy Rambo again will be handling that one, or it could be Fire. I mean, Fire does play that support. If Enigma's going to be playing on the support role, Fire probably is going to be playing that. Crystal Maiden is going to be the 4th ban, as we see these bans, again, going by very quickly. Puppy finally banning some normal hero. No more DK, no more Kunkka on the 4th bans. And we're going to see Enchantress being paid to respect to every single time but Twista. And Navi picking up that Night Stalker once again. 3rd games in a row?
3rd game in a row.
Yeah.
So let's see who they're going to farm, if they're going to have Pycat play that Night Stalker once more. He played it quite effectively in Game 1. He sort of waned effectiveness in the late game, but that's what Night Stalkers tend to do. Meanwhile, let's see how Mouse decides to counter this. Right now they have decent heroes against Night Stalker. I mean, Sand King will be able to position himself back quite far and then blink in, so he will avoid getting himself silenced. I think we'll have to watch out for his silence, but right now they're looking okay. Not really gankable heroes that hard either, I guess, unless you have Dust.
Very survivable heroes, and the fact that they could be very mobile. With Blink and Night Stalker running around, of course you have, Prophet TPing around, so I do expect Navi to push down some towers very early. In terms of counter pushing power, I don't think Mouse got anything going their way in terms of counter pushing. They have very good pushers in their own right, so what Mouse should be doing is when they see Navi going in one of the towers, they should go for trades. Because I don't before Sankey picks up his Blink Dagger, he's not going to be a great counter pusher. Enigma could summon Eidolons, there's some spawn spiralings that could be summoned, but in their own rights, you can't really stop a push. So I think Navi's got it going, especially you pick up on Ron 4th. That's not going to stop a push either, as we see Glitch being picked up immediately for 5th. I'm not liking Mouse's pick right here, going into game number 3.
Yeah, they need a lot of experience, they need a lot of items, they need a lot of time, and time might not be what Navi gives them, especially considering Havos Anti-Mage likes to go for very early engagements, just farm it up, especially if Live Heaven gets the hard lane once more, then expect to see Havos be really involved with that Anti-Mage, and Lich unlike a support Night Stalker and a Jungle Shadow Demon, is a very strong support for Anti-Mage. Gonna be able to lane control quite well with that Sacrifice and the Frost Blast. So far I'm really liking Navi's lineup a little bit more than Mouz.
Yeah, Mouse gotta pick up a counter pusher, whatever that might be. Windrunner not gonna be enough, I think. I guess Rasa could do it, Shadow Shaman. Enter Sharp mows down Creep Wave fairly quickly, although, again, he has to worry about his positioning. Navi's pushing not only comes in the fact that they have Treants and the fact that they have Diabolic Yig, but also the fact that Night Stalker could run in and out of the tower range and make sure that no one is really, just standing behind a tower and try to nuke your wave down. So Night Stalker is going to be a menace during the push as well. And Mouse having a little bit of trouble picking up their last pick. We talked about how draft is very important. We saw in game number 1, Navi just, for lack of a better word, sucked in that draft. And I'm not sure whether Mouse is doing a lot better in this draft either. They're going to pick up Slaughter. That's going to give up a little bit more tanky potential in terms of heads-up engagement. But how are they going to stop a push? That is the question.
How are they going to get all the experience needed? All these heroes are going to need some experience. Maybe we're going to see a bootsless Sand King support that we so often like to not see. But Slaughter is a hero who needs a lot of experience. All these heroes, so I guess we're going to have to see an Enigma jungle up in this case.
Fire, our support player, is going to be playing as Sand King, so it might be a bootless Sand King. We'll see Sexy Bambo, of course, playing his famous Broodmother. It's going to be going up top. We're going to have Twista, the support player on the Mouse squad, going to be playing the Enigma. Sing Sing going to be soloing mid with Mirana. And then we have Nada Hax, or Stanin, going to be playing the Slaughter on the bot. So this is a double melee lane with the possibility of Enigma coming out again in the jungle. And they're going to be up against a anti-mage who has a blink, and Lich who's going to be staying back close to his tower and keep on denying. I'm not favoring the chances of this lane. I guess in terms of a melee versus melee matchup, Slaughter is pretty good, but anti-mage in theory could also, drain off a lot of mana. Especially when you're getting a range support that could slow and nuke.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure what Mouse's lineup accomplishes. They're good in teamfight, and they're good in ganking. So maybe they're going to try for a lot of early ganks, maybe do some roaming with the Enigma and some Slaughter, but if they're not going to be able to shut down the Anti-Mage very effectively against the Lich, I think the top lane Light of Heaven should be able to handle himself quite fine against the Broodmother. So right now, I'm really liking how Navi will play, and if Pavos gets off to a good start with this Night Stalker, we're not going to see a Vos Anti-Mage this time, we're going to see a Vos Night Stalker. So meanwhile, we're going to see Pycat playing that Anti-Mage, a very, very strong hard carry player in his own right for CLG, so expect both lanes, all lanes, I think will go in favor of Navi.
Well, I mean, top lane is going to be a little bit more hard call. I guess Broodmother does have a natural advantage against Light of Heaven. He doesn't have that escape spell. Of course, Teleport is a escape spell, especially against someone like a Broodmother who doesn't have a stun. And of course, Sexy Bambo could also push against this Furion. We'll see how Sexy Bambo plays this. He's being very aggressive right from the word go, and he's lane controlling at this point on. But back in the mid lane here, Mirana up against a dual lane. No, I think Puppy's going to be going up top to help out a little bit, and you can see that Sexy Bambo just harassing right now.
Counter ward already being placed, and Twista is going to immediately deward that bottom lane ward, so that's going to limit Anti-Mage's access to see if he's going to be ganked, but it looks like Twista has picked up 1 point to demonic conversion. He's just going to be able to do some physical harassment if he decides to go for the gank. No, he's just going to head back into the jungle. Meanwhile, they're just going to harass Pycat a little bit. They're going to chain stun him down quite nicely, so Anti-Mage is having a little bit of a tough time. Meanwhile, Arzar is staying back as far as possible so that Anti-Mage can get all the experience that he can, even if he's not getting the last hits.
Yeah, he's also trying to block the creep wave. The creep wave is now near the tower, and that's the beauty of having a Lich as your support. The creep equilibrium always on the enemy side. And now Anti-Mage is going to hit a quick level 2 and perhaps a level 3. Very interesting to see whether Anti-Mage is going to go into Spell Shield or Mana Break here. And Mana Break, of course, is a de facto skill choice, but in a defensive lane like this, maybe it's going to be a Spell Shield. We'll see.
Keep in mind that Slaughter's Crush is physical damage, so maybe Spell Shield would not be the best choice in this case.
I stand corrected.
It's all good. You correct me all the time anyway. Meanwhile, Broodmother is going to be harassed quite a bit. Sentry Ward going to spot Sexy Bambo, so Sexy Bambo is not going to have a fun time. Sexy Bambo usually fares pretty well overall when he plays Broodmother against a hard lane, but in this case, with Puppy constantly shadowing Sexy Bambo, I don't know if Sexy Bambo will really be given the opportunity to win this lane.
Well, he's definitely going to have a tough time, but he always finds a way, and I'll be surprised if he doesn't at least get some farm in this lane, as we see Arzart now doing a little bit of counter warding himself. No, he's not doing any counter warding. He's just standing in a couple of wards. There's a Nova right on Not a Hacks. It's going to slow him down. Breaks all his mana. Teleport comes in right now. There's a Sprout, and it's going to tango out. Not a Hacks immediately does, though. And he's going to be fine. But very strong gank here coming in, making sure that there's a lot of resource being wasted. So even Not a Hacks is back to full HP at this point. He doesn't have any mana to work with, and not having the crush, he's just a glorified melee creep. Anti-mage can farm right next to him and not really being afraid.
Yeah. Meanwhile, nice play by Light of Heaven, buying a TP scroll, immediately teleporting back up to the top lane. Bruno is still level 2, about to hit level 3 very soon, but still not having a good time on that lane. So we're going to see how Havos fares against Sing Sing in this middle lane. Havos is being harassed quite heavily, but he has a salve, he has some restores, he picked up an Invis rune. So just checking out his gold. He has 700 gold in the bank, so he'll be able to pick up a bottle if he decides to go for that route, or if he goes for fast boots, he can do that as well.
Sing Sing already has his bottle finished and it's already delivered, but the way that Puppy's been playing right now, he's doing a very good job in terms of shutting down each and every lane. Of course, helping out mid lane whenever necessary, helping out top. He's basically just sacrificing his own level gain, but helping out both lanes to make sure that both Havos and Light of Heaven having a good time. Back on the bot lane, though, a lot more harass against Not a Hacks, and he's having a Mirana goes back in mid lane. I did hear a spliff going hitting, and I think Mirana got stunned by it. Malefice came on a little bit too late. First blood goes to Night Stalker. Not what you expect against a Mirana who has the ability to get away very easily. But now with that thing, that kill going in against Mirana, I think Havos is gonna have. It's basically one in the lane, to be honest.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for Sing Sing to get back. Night Stalker has pretty high base armor, so she'll be pretty resistant in terms of harassment. Meanwhile, Twista might get harassed by Puppy. Puppy pops. Looks like Twista managed to pick up the haste rune. He's going to try to do some edict damage, and Twista is very, very low HP. Will he get cut off? Will he suicide to neutrals? Where is Twista going? He's going to try to escape to the north between the middle towers, and he might be able to do so successfully. Yes, he will be able to escape for now.
I think he should have just suicide to Ancients. He had 50 go. Buy your clarity and just go suicide. He might just suicide regardless, because if he just dies right now, such an unfortunate turn of event. Havos is trying to track him down. Twista basically just, I think he's just wasting time.
Yeah, he's wasting his own time along with his teammates' time. He's not pressuring the bot lane to help out against his dual melee, and right now Pycat is just having a field day. Unfortunately, not last hitting as well as we usually see Pycat, only 14-4, but he's still controlling the lane very well. Meanwhile, Light of Heaven was having a little bit of trouble against Sexy Rambo, was low HP for a little bit, but it looks like he's back in control, especially since Puppy's not there to help him out. He's faring decently.
Yep, back in the mid lane here as we see engagement go on Sing Sing. Sing Sing is stunned up again. Puppy being at the correct place at the correct time. We have a port in, and it's going to get cancelled because Sing Sing was salving up. Very, very close call. Spliff did not hit in that instance, and well, Sing Sing lived to tail the tail. Sing Sing still having a tough time. We'll have to actually bottle grow because you can see the equilibrium constantly being pushed out, and Night Stalker could always make it go on Mirana because he does have the access into that silence.
Meanwhile, Pycat has the Ring of Health, so he can stand any harassment. Arzart has 2 points in the Sacrifice and the Blast. And keep in mind, Lich is a very, very strong mid-game hero. He sort of faded out for a bit because he doesn't really do too much after the early game. Other than that, he's pretty useless. I mean, he has Frost Armor, and if he gets lucky bounces on the Chain Frost, he's a good hero. But other than that, in terms of laning, there's very few that can rival the Lich. So right now, he's going to try his best to secure Pycat lane, and so far he's doing a nice job.
Of course, on the top lane here, we do see Night Stalker secures himself the invisibility rune. Is he going to pop in and make a go? Mirana, I mean, he went for the rune as well, but he saw Night Stalker was going and does not want to take a fight over the river. Leap or not, he will track you down, especially nighttime was so close by. A lot more harassment going on the top lane here. Sexy Bambo was able to keep Fury on.
Bot lane. Arzart managed to take the fall after a nice gank by Twista. Nahax is very, very low HP. Burrow Strike is going to stun Pycat. Pycat is so close to dying. Pycat, one more hit. Looks like he might be able to escape with the skin of his teeth. And Twista's trying to get into position, drops the Malefice, one more hit, and Pycat is going to die as well. Nice ganking by Twista, but here comes Havos. Havos is rushing and drops the Void on Twista, but still a kill against Lich and a kill against the Anti-Mage will help Mouz regain their footing in the bot lane, even though Havos, it is first night, and he is going to go on the rampage. He has Invisible Rune in the bottle. He's going to destroy the Ironwood branch with vengeance.
And anger and rage. He's going to tank a couple of tower shots as well. I'm not sure what that's about, but he's got to pop his invis right now. And have to bottle up and get something done. He does see Sanking. Sanking doesn't have too much. Meanwhile, in the midst of all of that, Sexy Bamble destroyed the top tower. Hey, saying that no one's going to be in lane, I'll keep on pushing until you can put Furion back. Furion's got to get back quickly. He's level 6. His ultimate's already on cooldown. He wants to push down the bot tower to get something going here. What Light of Heaven loves to do in terms of his item builds, we see a kill going back in the mid lane. Man, kills just happening everywhere. Avoid a silence and a couple of right clicks, and it looks like Pycat was able to pick up that kill. Tower's going to go down on the bot as well. And this is what I talked about earlier. If Mouz want to keep even on the tower counts, they got to just trade towers. They cannot defend. And that's one of the weaknesses of the heroes they pick. They just don't have any counter pushing AoE. And Mouz trying to do their best to push down a second tier tower on the top lane. But I assume that the team Navi is going to try to defend that one.
Yeah, looks like Puppey is maneuvering himself into position. He'll be able to do some damage. And this bottom tower looks like it's going to stay alive for the moment. No, more trees are going to be summoned, and they're going to try to get this tower. Slaughter and Sand King can only do so much. Can they get the deny off? No, a little bit mistimed by Not a Hex. That's pretty crucial in this stage of the game. So much gold can really make a difference early on. Meanwhile, Puppey might be in a little bit of trouble on the top lane. Sexy Rambo is actually not going to go for Puppey. Instead, Centurions drops. Sexy Rambo is going to be in a lot of trouble. Looks like the splitter is going to be enough. No, Sexy Rambo is going to be invisible, and he's going to escape just barely against Havos.
Just barely staying out of range of Centurion. I'm not sure if he knew that Centurion was dropped, but he's alive right now, so that's all we could ask for. Say, oh, he's going to walk back in, he gets hit. He's going to just stay on the edge of that web. He knows it's not safe. He can't pop out of the web right now because he's going to be revealed. No, he's going to pop out right now. He's going to get near. Oh, so close. Bambo's flirting with death at this point.
Just constantly teasing Navi, saying, "Hey, I'm right over here, guys. So just come and get me." But meanwhile, Vosis is gonna farm it up, and Not a Hex is gonna try to get some farm. Only 16 CS for Slaughter this early in the game. Slaughter's gonna have a really difficult time in this lane. Sand King has picked up some boots. He has 300 gold in the bank, so farm is being distributed quite evenly across the Mouz side. Meanwhile, Arzar is going to try to hit that level 6. When he gets Chain Frost, they'll do a lot of damage this early on. Meanwhile, Sexy Bambo constantly just toying with the Vost, just keeping him busy for a lot of this. And Mouz Fire is going to blink in, going to get the Burrow Strike off, and that's it.
And just harassing on Havos. I mean, Havos, they're keeping him busy. He's not doing too much during his nighttime, so that's all they could ask for, right? Light of Heaven, by the way, is pushing us again. Bambo's coming in, just drop off and being so annoying, but there's a dust, and I think Bambo has maybe played with death a little bit too much. He's gonna go down to lightning. A little bit unfortunate here. And he takes the fall. I want to talk about a skill or item build here for Light of Heaven. You've seen him done this a billion times before. Go to the Mecha first, and then he's gonna go back in, or excuse me, go into a Hand of Midas first, and then going back to the Mecha. It's such an awkward build, but that's the build he's going for.
Yeah, and now he has a ridiculously high win rate with Nature's Prophet, so this build works out quite well. Silence is going to be dropped on Fire along with the Void. Fire is going to die for sure. Light of Heaven is tanking some tower shot damage, and meanwhile Sexy Bambo is going to take quite a bit of damage. Dust is on cooldown, so Bambo will be able to live just fine, but they're going to give up a tower. Arrow manages to hit. Bambo denies the tower, but Bambo is going to pay for it with his life. Aaron doing a lot of damage. Oh, barely. Night Stalker gets the kill. But nice deny.
That web was almost out-regenning that urn, but it wasn't just not enough. It was a big deny, but that was the second death in a row, and that's gonna he just lost all the advantage that he gained for himself. And here comes Navi's push again. How is Mouz gonna stop this? I don't think they can. Whole bunch of treants on top of this. Of course, that's gonna allow Diabolic Edict to do big damage. Here comes Sanking, Burrow Strike on 2, trying to go in, but looks like Fire is taking so much damage. There's a crush. Fire's gonna go down to a splitter for sure, and looks like the Slaughter not long for life as well, trying to do something. He is still alive for now. There's gonna be a crush. Light of Heaven's gonna go down for sure. Will he though? It looks like Moran's gonna do so, but it looks like Not a Hex is gonna go down as well. Trading a couple hits. Sing Sing gotta leap out. Havos still chasing. One more Void's gonna do it. One more Void's gonna do it. Where's the Void's cooling down? Trying to get some juice. Not gonna be enough. Still alive. Double kill. Unstoppable streak for this Night Stalker. He's earning himself up and looking for more. Meanwhile, we have Puppey still trying to destroy that tower. Here comes Sexy Bamble. He's chasing for a little bit more, but guess what? Guess who's back? Havos is back. We're gonna need a dust. We're gonna have a dust from Puppey. He's gonna pop dust right now, and Sexy Bambo again. The toying chase continues.
Yeah, Sexy Bambo unfortunately is not accomplishing much. He hasn't really been able to farm in the past 2.5 minutes, and meanwhile Pycat is just having pretty much free farm. He has 45 CS in 12 minutes, which isn't the best considering a player of Pycat's caliber, but he's still managing to tank up with the Vanguard. He's going to be able to pick up the treads very, very soon. Let's see if he goes for the Vlads, much like Havost. but anything can be possible with an anti-mage with such a big lead and an unstoppable Night Stalker this early on. 2,300 gold in the bank, he can pretty much get whatever he wants. So it's going to be really difficult for Mouz to combat this, and we saw the power of Navi's pushes. Once it gets going, it's really difficult for Mouz to stop it.
Yeah, and they don't just push one lane, they push every single lane. The hero rotation is just so good for Navi. Gold difference, by the way, 4,000 gold lead in favor of Navi. So we see a little bit of engagement in the jungle here, fighting a little bit of trouble, already down to half HP. That's a wall of a support Sanking. You're just very, very weak. Here comes, Night Stalker finding the Mirana. It's going to slow down Mirana as well. Mirana takes the ultimate from the Prophet. Oh, that's going to hurt big, but here comes the support coming in. And here comes Navi. Puppey, though, he's going to get Spirit. That's going to ensure the kill. No, he misses. Black Hole's going to get everyone. That is the first mistake here by Puppey, and Twista just made him pay in spades. But here comes the anti-mage. Big Monovoid's going to get one kill. He's going to chase in for a little bit more. That amplified damage is revealing him at this point. But the bot tower was destroyed. They're looking for tier 2 at this point. Furion in position. Back on the top lane here. Look at Bamboo. He's just doing more work, trying to keep on the pressure. But the fact that the Navi squad has a Furion means that he could, port anywhere, defend the lane, and come right back.
Yep, Bambo is still quite poor. Let's see what he decides to go for. He might just go for a straight up BKB. There's nothing on the dire side that can really stop a Broodmother BKB. Of course, Frost Armor does pretty well against Broodmother without BKB. Meanwhile, Highcat has 200 gold in the bank, just checking out what's coming to him on the Crow. He's gonna get the treads finished up, and with that he can start going for his big damage items. And when Highcat gets really farmed this early on, it's gonna be a lot of trouble for Mouz.
I do assume it's going to be a Vlad's. Vanguard first Vlad's is kind of Navi's thing, but this is Highcat, not a Navi player, so... But he's standing in for Navi, so it's arguments for all of this. It's finally daytime. That first night lasted forever. We'll have a gank in the jungle. They're going to find Arzard. Chain Frost going to get popped. That's not going to bounce, and he's going to go down.
A little bit unfortunate for Arzard, but that's the problem with Lich sometimes. Looks like Sing Sing wants to go after Light of Heaven. Arrow is going to get dodged adeptly by Light of Heaven, and meanwhile the mid tower is going to go down, and Anti-Mage picks up that last hit, and I think Navi, they can keep going. They have the level 4 Edict, level 3 Lightning, so they can clear creep waves quite quickly. And let's see how Mouz combats this. No, Puppey is going to TP out, going to defend the top lane, and Bamboo is going to be stymied for this attempt.
Yeah, and every attempt so far he has been stymied. Navi says, you can have the first two, but anything afterwards, we're not going to let you get any more. And again, they have so many AoE heroes on Navi's squad, they could keep doing this. They have Prophet doing this, they have Lesh doing this. They could do this all day long, and I don't think Bamboo's going to get too much luck. Meanwhile, though, the other guys on Navi's pushing down towers here and there. The mid tower in a little bit of trouble. It's not going to go down this push, but it's going to make the next push a lot easier.
Yep, Navi is only up by 1 tower, and keep in mind Bamboo did deny 1 tower, but the gold graph shows that Dire have a 3,000 gold lead. Not too big of a deal this early on in the game, but still every bit of gold, especially with a team that requires so much farm like the Radiant side, will make a difference.
Alright, that's a good time for us to check out gold difference. We're back down to 3,000 gold lead for Navi. A couple of kills in return definitely help out. Navi, by the way, leading by 5 kills. Items, I'm going to put on the screen a lot of different items to talk about, but again, one of the key points that we talked about is how will Mouz coming from deficit. Last game, they're not really down by that much. This game, they are down by a lot. Not sure if Mouz is showing signs of life. So far, it doesn't look too good for at least Sexy Bamboo. Broodmother is one of those heroes that requires a little bit of momentum. You expect him to win the lane. You expect him to push down tower. You don't expect him to die. A lot of those things have went negatively for Sexy Bamboo. And because he's not getting any momentum, he's not getting any big items, he won't be able to even kill Lich later on. Because guess what? Lich has a phase boost. He's going to be moving mad quickly.
We are going to see the Vlads on the Anti-Mage, so typical Navi fashion for the Anti-Mage. Going to expect him to be in a lot of team fights coming up very shortly. And he's going to be pretty tank, only level 1 in Spell Shield, but he has the Vanguard, he has the Treads, and he can switch them whenever he wants to get more HP. Light of Heaven is going to TP mid, going to defend the tower from Sing Sing. Sing Sing immediately leaps out, having been silenced too many times by Hovost. Clearly having some post-traumatic stress disorder right there.
Sing Sing cannot wait till the time that he gets up to his Manta style, but it's going to be a long time from now. Waiting for the 16 rune. Maybe he's going to go set up a gank on the top lane. That's what he's looking for right now. Puppey, very killable hero at this point, but Puppey, I guess luckily for him, out of mana at this point, is going to go back. So he dodges gank, defends the lane for now, and Bamboo trying to get a little bit more pressure going on, but right now, Navi's ready. You can see that on the minimap, all the Navi hero moving close. It's going to be fight for the Invisrin. Invisrin gets picked up by Havos, and Mirana just have to get the hell out. Leap, please. Uh-oh.
Well, it is daytime. Darkness is up, but it looks like Havos will not pursue the issue. Arrow is going to whiff. Yes, Arrow is going to whiff.
And I'm just keep watching Bambo. Like, Navi's paying so much attention to Bambo. But Sankin comes in with the Burrow Strike. Arzar's gonna go down. Mouz somehow got a kill deep in the enemy territory. Here comes Puppey trying to get a splitter. Will he get it off? And he does hit right on target. I think that is gonna be kill. Trade for trade. I guess any even trade right now, Mouz would be happy to take because they are down by so much. Anything you could get even is fine, especially if you're gonna delay the push. I guess right now Navi's waiting for nighttime and gonna use this time to get a little bit more farm. Pycat is gonna have that Vlad's finish just in 200 gold, so quickly after this creep wave. And
Invis Havost gonna come and initiate on Twista. Crush is gonna whiff. Nice dodging by Havost, and he's gonna be able to pick off Twista very easily. Pycat manages to get the last hit. Nadahax is gonna be in a lot of trouble. He's gonna get chased down, and Arrow manages to hit Havost. Nicely done, but another Crush whiffs completely. Nadahax not being very effective with these slithering crushes, and Navi, they're gonna push. They have the Lich ultimate. They have very tanky heroes, and I don't know what Mouz can do. Looks like Sing Sing is gonna be in a lot of trouble. Sing Sing is gonna take the fall as well, and Puppey is gonna get chased down, but now Nadahax is taking too much damage. Black Hole gets channeled on. Two heroes, but no damage whatsoever to follow that up, and Mouz is just completely falling apart. And Navi, they're still very, very healthy in terms of HP. It's looking really bad.
And this is where the Vlads becomes really good, and it's going to be delivered towards him, towards the anti-mage. Brewmother forced the TP back, never a sign you wanted to see. He now can no longer pressure on the top lane. One thing less on Navi's mind. Mouz going for the deny. Does we have Dust? He's down to half HP. Wow, that's a very bold goal. As we see Sing Sing hits an arrow, he's trying to leave it, not going to get the kill as the nukes just simply too much. Sing Sing not too happy, worse than expectation. GG well play is going to be called. A very, very quick GG, but I don't blame them. Look at the go chart. They're not stopping anything. I feel like the draft has been really not what Mouz really wants. And 18-minute victory for Navi.
Yeah, Mouz may be a little bit frustrated having to always play with stand-ins and having lost a very, very close game too. And even though they won game one, so you can certainly understand. And considering the gold graph was so far in favor of Navi, it's not really too surprising to see that they're going to leave very early.
Did they win game one?
They did win game one.
Lose game one. Can I put a philosophical statement out there?
Not to take anything away from Mouz, but I think if Navi went with a more conventional lineup, it would have certainly been a lot closer. I think, yeah. Not going to put anything too definite on that prediction.
Well, you picked 4 carries. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Right. Alright, so that's going to be the broadcast for game number 3. A little bit anticlimactic, but Navi flexing their muscle. But game 2 was where it was at, man. One of the best games I've ever casted for Dota 2. And that's going to do it for the Premier League broadcast today. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have the post-game analysis as well as what's going to be coming up tomorrow. More intense matches for the TPL2. But for game number 3, thanks for watching and stay tuned.